Hello, everyone. I see smiling faces, which I always love. I see waving faces. I see familiar faces, and I see some new faces. I'm really happy to be back here. My name is Sarah Waxman, and as Mark said, I'm the leader of an organization called At the Well, whose mission is to enhance well-being and wholeness rooted in ancient Jewish wisdom. And we love Jewish time. We talk about the importance of cultivating a practice of nowness and understanding what time it is in the Hebrew calendar as an anchor or a tool for us to cultivate our own spiritual life. So I'm very happy to be back here on Rosh Chodesh and for my teammate Jenna to be here on the full moon of each month. For those of you who've been sitting with Jenna, you know we're both lovers of the same thing, and we bring our teaching out a little bit different in different ways. And so we're excited to have an opportunity to bring both of our teachings in for each month. And it's a really great honor because so many of our holidays are celebrated on the full moon. So it will be a really great chance for Jenna to come in and help us be present in nowness and time. I'm getting a lot of private messages about my excitement of my daughter. So I feel like I wouldn't be a good Jewish mom without introducing everyone to Zahava Waxman, the newest love of my life, the greatest thing I ever created, who's just now sleeping. And in this month of Shvat, as I think about cycles and I think about how do I turn and what kind of things I want to plant for her and her life and for her children in her life, it's so meaningful to kick off this month with deep spiritual contemplators like everyone on this call. So with that, I want to get us started here. So I put into the chat here this quote from the greatest book club of all time, known as the Torah: "For every person is like a tree in the field." And for those of you who sit with me know that I like to crowdsource a little bit before we drop in. So would love to hear and see in the chat some of the ways that we are similar or different to trees. How are we similar? For every person is like a tree in the field, the Torah says. How is this true? What are the things that are similar? Okay, here we go, rolling in here. We're interconnected. Each tree is unique. We all throw shade sometimes. Love that, Barbara. We get nourishment through our roots. Our environment is impacting us. We're deep rooted. We go through our own cycles of loss and growth. We're alive. And to the counterpoint, at some point we will die. We're dependent on each other. We're connected. We need water and we need love. We are all of the earth. We have deep roots. We ground ourselves while also reaching for the sky. I love that. We grow as we age. And actually, in trees form rings. So marks on this actual tree, just like we do in our body as our body ages, creates more indicators of the time we've spent walking on Earth. The sap rises in us too. We provide shelters for others. Our arms are branches and fingers are like leaves reaching out to those to help us grow. We bud and we bloom and we shed. We need each other around us. We need other trees around us. We need other people around us to flourish. We're not meant to be alone. We're both full of energy. We both have seasons of our life, and so on. And here is the teaching for the month of Shvat and for Rosh Chodesh Shvat, right here in the chat, crowdsourced by you all. I want us to invite an invitation to sit with what is our tree for this moment. So ground yourself to your chair, or you're standing, or you're lying down, and allow your eyes to close and just take in some breaths together, inhaling and exhaling. Make it audible so the people around you know it's time for meditation. Inhaling and exhaling. I said this last night at a teaching in DC. I see my friend Arlene's here online too. So forgive me, Arlene, I'm going to say this again, but you're actually doing the trees a favor if you breathe out really deeply, because they breathe in what we breathe out. So give the trees some nourishment by really exhaling. Imagine yourself walking as close as possible to your favorite tree. And begin to root yourself standing like a tree next to that tree. Find comfort in the proximity of it. And using your heart, I invite you to just be present, not needing to go anywhere, not needing to do anything, just breathing right next to this tree, symbiotically breathing each other into existence. The roots of your tree are twice as big as your tree is. So imagine yourself grounding into the soil. With every breath, exhaling deeper into ground, into land, into Adama. These roots that we're cultivating connect us to our favorite tree. They connect us to our ancestors. They connect us to further trees. With each breath, allow your roots to continue to dig into the soil, intricate and winding. The roots are the place that in trees and like ourselves, you can't see, requires spiritual faith, but is a place to get nourishment and sustenance, extracting from the ground. So survey yourself in this moment of Rosh Chodesh Shvat 5784 And with each inhale, give your tree and your body the nourishment that it needs up from the roots. Inhaling chesed and love, and sending it to the trunk of your tree. Inhaling strength, inhaling courage, inhaling resilience, inhaling compassion, continuing to use your breath, and on each inhale, take in the nourishment that you need in this moment. Allow this resource, this nourishment to strengthen your trunk and grow your branches and develop your leaves. And of course, the roots are not just a place to receive and take, but they're also a place to give and share. So let's play with our exhale and begin to imagine our roots intertwined with the other people on this Zoom, with the other people who are standing close to your tree, with the people who are in need of nourishment. And exhale love and compassion and resilience and strength and anything else that you have the ability to put back into the ground as well. This is the month of Shvat. What time is it? Zman is connected to this idea of an invitation, hazmanya, to be focused on this relationship we have as trees, each of us. And how do we live as trees? We ask for help and we get nourishment and we give in the ways that we can. What a great gift our ancestors and the Hebrew calendar give us to spend a whole month contemplating our relationship to land and trees and each other and community and our souls. As we begin to close our meditation today, I want to invite you, Hasmanya, to spend some time, Zman, setting an intention for yourself for the month of Shvat. This new moon to the next new moon. In Shvat 5784, I'm dedicating this moon to this. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, send some nourishment to this group. Exhale, receive it. Inhale, receive it. Exhale, send it out. Play with the breath and what works. When you're ready, you can take your last breaths and lift the corners of your mouth to the sky. Allow your eyes to open and find an eye in a Zoom box in a place that's not your living room, and give that person a little sunshine. Chodesh Tov, everyone. I hope that this is a fruitful month, pun intended. I hope that it's a peaceful month. And I pray that we all get the nourishment that we need, those of us on the call and those of us who are not on the call.
And amen. Thank you so much, Sarah. It's wonderful to have you back, and what a great way to move into the new moon and the new month of Shvat. And we seal the practice as we do each day, friends, by offering an opportunity for those of you morning or observing a yard site today or this week, if you'd like, to put the name or names of those you are honoring by reciting Kaddish or if it's your custom to join in the Kaddish, you're welcome to do so. And if you're not reciting Kaddish, we ask that you please stay present for those who are. Create a minion of support, comfort. Today I am remembering and honoring my memory of a dear friend, Alan Gerson. And people are welcome to share the name or names of others you'd like to include, as I mentioned in the chat. And thanks to Jet for sharing the words of the Kaddish on the screen. And if you are reciting them, I invite you to join me by rising in body or in spirit. And you can unmute at this time. Yid Gadal, Vid Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ma Divra Chilute, Amlich Malchute, B'chayei Chol, B'chayei Dechol, Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalat, Man Chariv, V'imru,
Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba
Kishmei
Me'olam
Rabba Me'olam
Olam
Me'olam
v'mei omaya
Ach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yit'am v'yitnaseh v'yihadar v'yitalev v'yishmo shemei d'kudshay v'ela michatav shuratav ta'atav v'nechematav amiran lama rabba Yisrael Leinu Yisrael Leinu Zeh Shalom B'Ramav V'Yaseh Shalom
Krishna
Leinu
b'mama
V'Yisrael
Amen.
Ya'akol Yoshvei Tevel
Amen.
Imru Amen.
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 And thanks so much for joining us today for this beautiful session, Rosh Chodesh edition. And thanks to Sarah and to everyone at the Well for this wonderful partnership that we've developed. So grateful for that. And it really enhances our daily practice at this opportunity, both on Rosh Chodesh and now mid-month at the full moon as well. So we're really blessed by that. Thank you so much. Thanks to Cheryl Shapiro for sponsoring our practice today, honoring her teachers, Rabbi Rami Shapiro and Rabbi Nancy Flam. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Cheryl. And of course, thanks to Jet for holding our text space so beautifully. You're welcome to stay on for conversation with Sarah about this beautiful practice and teaching today. And if you're leaving us today, we'll hope to see you tomorrow to sit into Shabbat together. Just a quick reminder that no live session next Monday because of Martin Luther King Day, but we'll be back after the weekend on Tuesday, a little bit further into the month of Shabbat. So Sarah, let's bring you in. And first and foremost, really, Mazel Tov, Zahava, and she's beautiful and it'd be just a great blessing all around. She's certainly blessed to have you guys as parents, and I hope you really get lots and lots of joy from the experience. So start there. That's a good start. So
You want to get me to cry right off the bat? Is that
sure.
going?
We welcome it. Bring it on.
Yeah, it's a real, I mean, this is a very, very wanted child. My wife and I worked very hard to create her and to bring her into the world. And for those of you who've carried children and delivered children, you know that it's a gift to do and not an easy one. And so we're so happy that she's here, and we are navigating and being adaptable with all the challenges that arise with having a little baby in your house. And it has been a very, I'm going to say the word interesting, intense, challenging time for all Jewish people on the planet right now, and to be new moms in this time with a beautiful baby girl who's named for my grandparents. It's been multifaceted and layered, but at the end of the day, gives us an opportunity to stay rooted in hope for what the world will be that we can help create for her. So
thanks for sharing all that and for sharing the picture. She is adorable. And actually, so what you just said actually is a good segue into I guess it's kind of a question, it's or more of an observation, just to expand the context, where we are in the calendar, thinking about Shvat and think, oh, Shvat, it's great, because Shvat is usually associated with spring and Tu B'Shvat and like the beginning of the new life. Thinking, wow, it's Shvat already, and in terms of the Jewish calendar, of course, we're going back to Simchat Torah and Shemini Atzeret and what the world has been like since we like barely entered into the new Jewish year, how welcome it is to get to this theme. And also, but I also want to mention and throw this into the mix for the conversation, is that there's an association between Rosh Chodesh and Yom Kippur also, in terms of Rosh Chodesh being, a new fresh start and kind of just like a letting go of the old and beginning of the new as well. So that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking, oh, Rosh Chodesh, mini Yom Kippur. Oh, Yom Kippur. Oh my God, what has happened since then? If only we could go back to Yom Kippur and start over again. But what this Rosh Chodesh does, and I just wanted this is where the question comes in. Rosh Chodesh kind of, as you said, it's such an incredible gift to have these frequent, fresh starts. Like, okay, all right, we're not bound by the past. However it's been, for better or worse. This is new. There's something new here, and the trees are also kind of a reminder of that as well. That there's a newness there. So I don't know if you want to respond to that. I'm not putting it as like a direct question, but I don't know. What do you make of what you just said? Was you are experiencing and you're bringing and sharing, and it's really welcome, sharing the joy in a time that has been so incredibly painful, frightening, upsetting in so many ways. How do you? Maybe I'll put it in the form of a question. How do you hold that? How do you hold both those things at the same time?
I told you I was going to cry. I think I just try to do the best I can in each moment.
Mm-hmm.
And allow myself to grieve and be sad and have my heart broken, and also try to be Jewish and just look forward and to root into the thing I've inherited and to be proud of it, and also be true that 5784 Shvat looks like this. And that's why I made sure to mention that, because 5783 Shvat was totally different. And hopefully 5785 will be a different again. And this is what this Shvat is. And so, I don't know, the invitation to lean towards what the Hebrew calendar teaches us to be focused on, but not forgetting what year it is or what's going on, and not losing ourselves. I mean, as a team right now, we're thinking about, spoiler alert, next month, joy. And also we're in a leap year, 2 months of joy.
Right.
So I need to start thinking about what the meditation will be for next month. Hopefully there will be joy for us to celebrate. But certainly there's a lot of grief. And I don't know, we've been starting to like dig into some of the challenging years of Jewish time that we're part of, and look to them and see if they had wisdom for us about how do you navigate the very important human and Jewish invitation to be leaning towards these themes of each month, even in the backdrop of horrific things going on.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I'm Sarah. I'm named for my great grandmother's name, Sarah. They're named for their Sarahs. Going back to the original Sarah, I think I'm just like really strong in that energy. And I just don't think that I am alive on earth because people stayed in their pain all the time. We have to find the balance, and we have to find the ways to be strong and to continue to root into love, while also making sure to protect ourselves and do what we need to do in order to ensure that a tree could bear fruit. And that's complex, but Jewish wisdom is complex. So I feel grateful to have a wisdom tradition that is complex so that I could be complex in it in this time.
Thanks for
And
sharing all of that.
I'm a
Yeah.
CEO, I'm a founder of a company. I'm not a therapist, as you know, I say. I'm not a rabbi. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a historian. I'm a person who is experiencing this moment. And I don't have a sermon for us or like any indicator of what's around the corner. I'm just here to remind us that we have the invitation to cultivate our spiritual lives, even in the backdrop of a really challenging world out there.
Yeah. Well, you may not be any of those things, but you have a lot of wisdom and you have a lot of authenticity to share. And we're all really enriched by that. And in the court, in what you just said, you were talking about drawing on your roots, you inviting us to really visualize and experience ourselves as a tree. And I'm thinking about, ancestral, and also so clearly you have like this very strong awareness of connection to the past and to ancestors and those roots in that real sense. And I'm thinking about the combination of the trauma and pain of the past, but what you lift up is the wisdom and resiliency of our ancestors, right? Of that is passed down to us as well. And so I want to thank you for that, doing that. You started off by inviting us to like imagining ourselves near our favorite tree, like next to our favorite tree, and then becoming a tree. What that made me think about, and I haven't read this book, but I know there's at least one book and maybe several about the interconnectivity of trees, right? Underground, how they communicate and know each other in some way, like they look like they're separate and distinct.
It's called The Secret Life of Trees, and it's amazing.
Right.
There's also an HBO special right now on trees.
Oh, really?
And Mark, I want to share that this meditation could go a lot of different ways. And last year I did it, a different version of it. And if you're looking at our guides that At the Well has put out, we have a lot of different ways to take in trees in our moon manual for the guide of the month. But I wanted to dedicate our sit today just focused on the roots.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I did that was so that we don't feel alone. Trees look like they're just standalones, but actually they're interconnected with a lot of other people, and there's a need to be connected there. And it just felt resonant with the 207 people who were here on Zoom from all over the world in their own rooms and in their own corners of their heart right now, to just know that we're giving and receiving nourishment all the time. And that you can't see it, you can't hold it, but it's there. And a reminder for this to lean on people, ask for help, and be willing to show up if someone does the same. I think I've learned from my friends in Israel that there's a much stronger community of asking for help and showing up and maybe it has to do with proximity.
Mm-hmm.
Than I feel as an American. And I just want to give us all, I've been telling everyone, like, let's normalize literally just saying that you need help or asking for it. Maybe it's my new momness and the like meals that my synagogue sent me that made me realize how important it is. Or maybe it's just this moment and realizing that I need people around me that love. But I want to give everyone the permission this month to just be focusing on their roots. What can you take in and what can you be giving out in order to make sure that the forest that we all are is nourished as much as possible?
Yeah. I love having this metaphor now also of this group as a forest, with their interconnected roots and communicating and connected, even if we're in our own little Zooms, rectangles and spaces. And of course, I also love how you crowdsource, and we just crowdsource a lot of great resources about trees.
There's a ton of information in the chat.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, and a call to plant trees, which is obviously important and part of the
Yeah.
holiday.
I also put in the chat, in case people might have missed it, scroll up to the link to the At the Well Project website where you can sign up to get these moon manuals and maybe be part of the circles that At the Well beautifully kind of, helps cultivate and nurture, like a beautiful garden that you have developed. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm putting the link also to the Torah citation that you led off with about humans being like trees of the field. There's a wonderful classic Israeli poem by Natan Zach on that, and an even more beautiful song by Shalom Chanoch that on it. So I just put the link to that. I'm going to put the link to the YouTube. You should definitely be. This should be on your. Should be for the month of Shabbat.
I see some questions, Mark.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll hear. Redwood trees are self-healing, such as when they've been struck by lightning. What does Shvat teach or offer us about healing and self-healing? Good question, Lori, as always.
Lori.
Speaking about healing, hoping that you're doing well, Lori.
I hope that everyone responds to Lori, because certainly there's 116 people here, which means that there's like at least 300 different answers to this question.
Mm-hmm.
My instinct is exactly what I said before, which is to use your voice to remind people around you that you might be in need of healing, or you might be in need of a visit from a friend, or a meal, or a laugh, or a cry, or whatever it is. And I don't think that trees, it seems that the redwoods, I don't know enough about redwoods to say whether or not they do it all by themselves, but from what I understand from trees is that there's like families of trees and that they nourish themselves. So again, that's my invitation to be with others. We have structures for that in Jewish communal life around saying prayers and things your synagogue does. But certainly, I think most people, when they're given a window into being invited in to help, people feel grateful that they've been given the ability to be of use to somebody else's soul. And it takes vulnerability to let people in, but it actually is a service to do so.
Yeah. I'm curious also, just in terms of the, it is possible, by the way, Stacey, yes, you can save the chat, which has so many good resources. If you look in the chat box in the bottom right, you might see there's 3 small dots at the very bottom. And if you click on that, it gives you the option to save the chat, which has all these wonderful resources in it. And also, Sarah, you invited people to think, visualize their favorite tree, and a couple of people shared about that. But I would be interested to see what people came up with, what their tree was, and put it in there as well.
It's a great conversation starter for your family or for intergenerational conversations to have in this month, to connect across generations, to just talk about your favorite tree or to go visit trees and use it as a conversation, to even ask a little kid what kind of roots they want to put into the earth, or what sap might be rising in them. I want to invite us to think about how do we take this teaching or these months and bring them into our homes and bring them into our families, and allow the healing parts and the themes of each month to be something that we could do in our homes.
Yeah. And it gives me the opportunity, just noting that we're going to start this twice a month at the Well collaboration, not this month, the month of Shvat, because we already have our own Rebecca Schisler scheduled to lead a week-long session during the week of Tu B'Shvat, which is a week from, it's going to start a week from this Monday. Putting this in the chat as well, just so people have it. And we're looking forward to this. Rebecca's going to lead a week-long series on practicing with the elements, earth-based wisdom for Tu B'Shvat. So that will encompass Tu B'Shvat itself, which is obviously 2 weeks from today. So we'll be sticking with this theme for a lot of the month of Shvat, and we'll look forward to Jenna being with us to lead us on the full moon of the month of Adar, which is, like Sarah said, spoiler alert. But let's just stick with the trees for now. All right, we're at time, Sarah. Thank you so much. It's really, really wonderful to see you. It's wonderful to get a chance to learn and practice with you and to meet your daughter and share in that joy.
Can I say
need
one
it.
thing that's starting
Sure.
that's coming to me as a heart?
Yeah, go
That
ahead.
trees need water and sun to live, right? So going back to your original question for me about this and me crying, maybe this Shvat, actually, we just need to smile at each other and we need to cry.
Yeah.
And that's what this Shvat will be.
Amen. All right, Sarah, thanks again. Thanks, Jet and Cheryl. Thank you. Thank you all for being here, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Sit into Shabbat together, everyone. Many blessings. Be safe and well.